Just with the stuff out background. Welcome back. Welcome back to the I'm So Great podcast. I am your host, Mso the Great. Yes, I am great because I bring great to the plate. Every time you see a cat, man, we shooting here one from wonderful live WeLax Studios. We're recording live from WeLax Studios today. WeLax Studios, the best place for you for your 420 pleasures and for people that like to be active. It's a workspace for 420 appreciators. Come and have a good time with us if you ever in town. Man, it's been a lot going on. A lot going on. I don't know. I was just up here the other day, but man, come on now. Come on, it's been a lot going on, man. You see it. You see it, man. War. War. Now we're on the brink of war. We've been trying to dodge this thing, man. You have the Ukraine-Russia conflict. You know what I'm saying? We found a way to squeak out of that. And then you had Israel versus Palestine, and then we had a fleet squeaking out of that, boom, boom. And then bam, here we go with Iran. It's like, what's going on, man? You know what I'm saying? And as a cat that studies history, that is a appreciator of history, I understand that presidents want to be remembered. And Theodore Roosevelt said it himself. He said that if presidents are remembered mainly through war times, if there was a great war during that presidency, that president will be remembered, for years beyond. And we have a individual who truly wants to be remembered. All right, and fixing my shit. Truly wants to be remembered. This individual really truly wants to be remembered, and not only does the individual truly want to be remembered, but he has to clean up some of the besmirchings. I'm saying besmirchings like them shits ain't true, but I'm saying some of the besmirchings on his name. It's hard to go down in history as the only president that was that's associated with an insurrection. The president attempted to overthrow things. The president that was had a presidency during a time of great sickness, and during that time there wasn't great growth out of that. Uh, he does, when you're looking at the history and the track record of before the first presidency, there aren't too many big successes that he can ride off of. But a war, this man has been constantly trying to get us in war with somebody, but a war, and we just dropped bombs on Iran. Wow. I know that we don't have all the pieces to the puzzle. I know we don't have all the pieces. I know we don't really understand everything that's going on because, I mean, come on, it's a whole propaganda racket, and they use the media to incite fear and for us to devalue the individuals on the other side so we can feel like that we should go over there and hurt them to save the rest of the world from them. It's such a self-righteous aim. But at the end of the day, these things are about power. And I don't think right now is a great time for our country to be going through a war. Yes, in the past, wars have been very profitable. Wars have been very profitable in the past, but you're talking about some really obsessive things right now. We have the inflation issue is nuts right now. It's crazy. The inflation issue is crazy. Our capital is weaker, and you have the stock market balancing against cryptocurrency, which are two different currencies, and they're supported by two different currencies. And so, they're constantly combating with each other, which is making our currency a little weaker as well. You know, the infrastructure of our country is starting to look a little old and torn and tattered. We're supposed to be the greatest country on earth. We should have the most technological communities and most technological transportation and all that type of stuff. I feel like there are a lot of important issues that we can really be tackling. And lately we haven't been tackling those important issues. It doesn't seem to be like we're tackling more emotional issues, personally emotional issues, the way people feel about other people and things of that nature. And it's like, can we get back to work? Can we get back to work? I know saying, when you said America, let's make America great again. It's like, okay, well, let's work on that. You know what I'm saying? And what type of concept are we talking about when we're talking about greatness? Are we talking about greatness of power, greatness of individuals in power? I mean, how can we quantify this greatness that we're talking about? Because if we can quantify it, then we can actually, even if we can use, even if we can get some type of qualitative values broken down that we're trying to reach and aspire for. But I would like to understand, where's the benchmark? Where's the benchmark? Like, where's the benchmark? Where are we going with this concept? You know, you're stretching the country extremely thin. And I get it. I'm like, you know, if you are able to conquer Iran, you know, they have an amazing oil system. We will be able to make money, but it was going to be a long term down the road type of thing. It's a long term on the down the road type of thing for real. You know what I'm saying? And if it's a long term down the road type of thing, what the fuck are we gonna do in the meantime? That's what I'm trying to get wrapped around. You know, what are people supposed to do in the meantime? You know, a lot of jobs have been cut, so there are a lot of unemployed people out there. So the job market is extremely competitive because of all the jobs that were cut, and there are not enough jobs to be able to fulfill those jobs. So, and then also you have so much AI technology that's taking over administrative work or taking over different processes in the company. So, you know, it's less opportunities out there, less opportunities. So, is this something where we're trying to intrigue people to join the military? Is this something where, oh, you did this because you're about to initiate a draft? Like I just would like to get a better understanding of what's the direction that we're going in, you know, and how do we move forward in this process? How can we become successful in this process? And I mean, you could bet against the system, you could bet on a system, either or. You know, at the end of the day, man, we have to have a system that is moving accurately enough for us to be able to have something to bet on. You know, it's just the concepts. I'm looking around. I'm looking around now. I understand that there's a lot more money that's being created at the top, and that's where the money is usually created. Money is usually created at the top, space and everything like that. And there's a lot more money that's being created at the top. And we should, by now, understand that trickle down economics is not the best way to be able to supply the country. It's not the best way to supply the country at the end of the day. You know, it can be a little stifling. You know, once the capital is coming in, it has a lot of different filters to go into before it can actually get down to the people. And as it's attempting to get down to the people, man, it's more and more getting snatched out of it, more and more getting taken from it, more and more being being sucked out of the system. You're just losing more and more at the end of the day. And by the time the actual capital gets to the people, man, it's crumbs, bro. It's crumbs. It really doesn't mean anything. It really isn't anything substantial. It's just crumbs. You know, we've seen it over and over again, over and over again. I don't understand why we continuously are going with this process. I get it. The people that own the media are the ones at the top, and they're the ones that have the capital. And the ones that have the capital are going to be the ones that are making the decision on how to disperse that capital amongst the people. You know, and if that's what's going on, then that's what's going on. You know, hey, okay, you can figure out how to disperse that capital amongst the people. Let's figure this out. Once we get that figured out, then we have an efficient system to be able to make this shit happen. But until then, it's all a crapshoot, man. It's all a mystery. We all just sitting back on some, you know, well, hopefully, because a lot more has to be opened up in the system. I believe that America is getting to a point where entrepreneurship is about to boom. Even though it has been booming, entrepreneurship is truly about to boom. Truly about to boom because there aren't the jobs out there. So people are going to have to create companies. They're going to have to find some way to be able to write off their trades and the stuff and be able to get credits and open bank accounts and stuff. They got to figure that out. So they got to open up companies. And they're going to be opening up companies. It's going to be a lot of different companies being opened up. They're going to have a lot of smaller things happening. smaller operations happen, which I truly hope happens like that. I truly hope that a burst of entrepreneurial spirit comes over the country where we understand that we can no longer depend on the jobs and no longer depend on that process that they're putting us in. We can't depend on it anymore. So we have to be able to create these jobs for ourselves. But when you go overseas, you're in Asia, you're in these different countries, you see a lot of people that have their own. A lot of people that have their own, I mean, they got their own shops, they have their own products, they're making it, got their family in there working for it. It's like, come on, making it happen, making it happen. Yeah, there are no guarantees, but at the same time, you at least got a whole day to hustle and a location to hustle out. Working at it, picking it up, working at it, working at it, working on expanding it, working at it, working on it, working on top of it. Come on. This is a winning ship. This is a winning ship. We're here to win. We're Americans. It's been entrenched and it's been inbred in us to win. That's why us as black people have been able to make it so far. Yes, they're still using media and all this stuff against us, and we're killing each other and all that. And there's a lot that needs to be improved in our systems. But at the same time, man, we still have people that's flourishing. We got people that's making things happen, that and they're going back there on the internet and they're teaching you how to own your own business. They're teaching you how to acquire properties and be able to find big wins and things of that nature that's being taught. It's being taught all over the internet. It's being taught. If you want the information, it's there. Point blank, period, is there. You know, start your own podcast. Okay, start your own podcast. There's people out there that want to help you start your own podcast and help you figure out how to monetize your podcast. Okay, you want to do that. You want to be a marketer. Okay, that's fantastic because everybody needs a great marketer. You want it's just everything that there's ways that you'll be able to start your own shit. We still need more barbers. We still need more plumbers. We still need more mechanics. We still need more aeronautical engineers. We still need more dentists. We still need more of these things. Then I know a lot of these jobs aren't glorious type jobs, but man, we need them shits and you can live a good life for making these things happen. But what we first have to figure out is how to maintain our sense of self and our value during these times, during these tough times. Because all this negativity and all this bullshit going on around you, it pulls you down, it drags you down. And we got to figure out ways to be able to, be sustainable and be dope. No matter what. How can we be sustainable? How can we be dope? How can we still win in this type of environment? And you can. You can. And based on how you want to go at the game, what your benefits are, what your skills are, but there's always a way for us to eat. And I think a great way for us to do that is to understand our skills, figure out what our skills are, and find a way to be able to do those shits on our own. Find a way to be able to do them on your own, period. If you can find a way to do them on your own, if they need them in the company, they need them when you're on your own. And then when you get on your own, then you got to go through all the aches and pains of doing it on your own. Understanding how to make the money, understanding how to pay yourself, understanding how to keep your bills together and your credit together, and how to use credit and how to, there's so many different things. Making sure you have the right insurance policies and all that stuff and everything like that. All that stuff comes and a lot of times it can be a trial and error type of thing. But as long as there's no quit in you, you could just continue to push. You don't always have to be a part of one business. And just because you were running one business and that business didn't do as well, doesn't mean you can't run another business and make that business successful. We got to understand our value, and we got to stop holding ourselves so deep to our mistakes. Yes, once you make your mistake, you're supposed to learn from it. You know what I'm saying? Once you make your mistake, you're supposed to learn from it. How do I move better from making that mistake in the future? And then you move forward into the future. You reflect on it to be able to keep a benefit going on, but you give yourself enough grace to understand that you should have the right or the space or the grace to be able to make a mistake. Fix it sometimes. To be able to make a mistake, you got to be able to have the grace to be able to make a mistake, period. And that's what I'm looking at. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking at. It's like we're such a great country. We're such a great people. We're such great people. The things that we have been able to do, the way we've been able to organize, the way we've been able to communicate, it makes us great. And we got to dig into that greatness. Let's be great together. Dig into that greatness. The fear, man, the fear is intensive out here right now, man. It's moving. If you watching anything, you on social media, you out in public, you see the fear is intensive. Right now, I'm in Virginia. Right now, it's hot as hell. You know, it's pushing 100 every fucking day, if not more. It's pushing 100. You know, and the people is like, people going through it, baby. People feeling it, baby. They going through it. Pressure cooker. It's getting hot out there. It's getting hot out there. It's getting uncomfortable out there. It's getting uncomfortable out there. Yeah, people are nervous. You know, Iran is not a new. It's not a small thing. It's not a new country. It's a world power for real. They're a world power. You know what I'm saying? Persian Empire. Been world powers for a long time. Gotta take it serious. Gotta take it serious. But we are the United States. I was in the United States Army. I am United States Army veteran. We are some of the roughest, toughest, baddest motherfuckers on the planet. So don't count us out ever. Ever. We got the game, we got the technology, we got the spirit, we got the drive. Don't ever count us out. But at the same time, why can't we find diplomatic ways to be able to get through shit? It could be because our president, you know what I'm saying, heard about Roosevelt. What Roosevelt said about being remembered. And he wants to be remembered. And he needs a huge victory to overthrow a lot of the negative things that have been able to conspire during his presidential reign. Maybe you feel like going to war is going to, I mean, I'm pretty sure he knows it's going to benefit him because he's betting on it. He betting on it. Guarantee you're going to find him making billions. I told you earlier, I believe that the fact that there's so many 100 billionaires in the world and then they have like smaller billionaires like Trump that really want to try to find a way to jump up into that 100 billion status. You know what I'm saying? Really want to jump up there into that 100 billion status so they can be truly relevant when it comes to the wealth of the world. Right now, he's doing all right when it's in comparison to the wealth of the world. And it seems like he really wants to do way better. And so a lot of these moves, man, I mean, again, and this is all me hearsay, allegedly. This is all allegedly. I can't say that any of this, I don't have any backing when it comes to any of this information, besides that we are having issues with Iran and there were bombs dropped. Iran has some superior weaponry of their own. They were stating that we destroyed nuclear facilities and things of that nature. All right. But allegedly are my reasonings for this. These are all alleged. But at the same time, man, I'm in America. I have the right to make it. I have the right to an opinion. And here's my opinion, you know? And it's because I really don't have any information. We're really being kept in the dark right now. You know, if you're on the magma side, you're being told, hey, stay strong, don't worry about it. Everything gonna work out. But you're not really being given a plan. If you're on the other side, you're being told, grab your shit and run. This shit, the whole world about to set fire and burn. Nobody has a plan on how we can correct it or how we can move better in the future, move strong in the future. Nobody has a plan for that. So again, we're lost out here, man. We're completely lost out here. You know, food prices is crazy. They talking about gas prices gonna go up nuts. Gas prices are gonna go up crazy, astronomically. It's like, what the hell is about to happen? You know, our power grid's gonna be shutting down, things of that nature. It's like it's a very traumatic and scary situation right now. There's no true certainty. And with all this uncertainty, how do we move forward? How do we move in this space of uncertainty? How do we still make it happen? How do we increase consumer confidence? How do we survive? How do we survive? Man, I hope this stuff was thought through. I hope they really thought these things through because the way that is being delivered and the information that's being given is terrifying. Information is terrifying. It seems like a bad movie, a bad series. Seems like a bad one. Doesn't seem like a good one. Seems like a bad one. Whoever's directing this one, kiss my ass. Seems like a bad one, man. I really don't see where we're going with this. I really don't know what's the direction. None of this stuff. You know, I'm a veteran, so I absolutely believe in being a patriot, and I absolutely believe in supporting my country. But damn, bro, the fuck is going on with all this shit? It's hard for us to identify with it if we don't have any answers, man. We really don't have any answers for it. And I just really want to try to find a way to get some answers for it. Get a better understanding of what's going on. What's going on? Get a better understanding of it. And maybe it's one of them things where I don't need a better understanding of it, but fuck that. We're all susceptible to this damage. We're all susceptible to the windfall and the fucking the possibilities of this shit. We're all involved. We are, man. We're all involved. So we need something. We need some type of answers. We need some type of understanding. It will just work better that way. Where are we going from here? Where are we going from here? It's just nuts. But anyway, so during these times, man, it's just so important for us to be able to maintain our own value, our personal value, self-reflect during these times. Because it's nuts. It's nuts. And we have to make sure in the future that we're not allowing for this type of behavior to be able to conspire. We're not allowing it. We got to find ways to be able to not allow it, period. Period. It doesn't make any sense for us to constantly go through this stuff, man. It doesn't make sense for us to constantly be just so uncertain. The best word I can really use. To be so uncertain in such a great and powerful nation. Such a great and powerful nation. This business of us entrenching ourselves in so many different countries and putting our money in so many different countries to the point where so many different countries are supported off of our capital, where the central banks and the world banks are using our capital as the standard for everything. And when that happens, man, you can't control the inflation. We can't even control it. I mean, the Fed comes up with the monetary policy and the fiscal policy must coincide with the monetary policy. You can't go against it. Fiscal policy must go along with the monetary policy. You can't go against it. The Fed is not a government entity, so a government doesn't have any deciding factor on what happens there. Now, they do have a governor of the board. You know what I'm saying? They do have a governor of the board, but that individual does make a lot of decisions, but that individual usually is not a politician. They are a complete private entity. You know, so with that being said, man, there's a lot of scary implications going on here. Just trying to figure out how to move forward. Trying to figure it out. Maintain your value. Keep increasing your skills. Selling, negotiation. You know what I'm saying? These are great skills to be able to have in addition to your skills if your skills aren't selling and negotiation. You know, networking, speaking with people, communicating with people. Make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're networking. Make sure you're speaking with people. But make sure you're also being cautious because this is a time of uncertainty. And so this is a time of scarcity and people are behaving in very peculiar methods, behaving in very peculiar ways. It's the cannabis. I feel like that. Man, it's crazy though, man. I'm just sitting here just really working through my mind, trying to figure out the best ways to be able to make shit happen. You know, what's the best currencies to invest in? What are the best things to invest in? Now, during war times, usually um, the property value goes up crazy. You know what I'm saying? Property value usually go up crazy during war times and shit. So people usually win when they have real estate investments during these times. You know, there are going to be a lot of needs. And Amazon has all these affiliate programs. I'm not pretty sure of how Amazon and TikTok has all these affiliate programs. TikTok has become a new search engine, you know, so you can be using these resources to be able to find ways to earn capital yourself, find products and ways to promote those products. So you'll be able to middleman a deal between Amazon and these products, or whatever company in these products, so you can make yourself some capital that way. There's so many different ways for us to make capital, but right now it's truly focusing on making sure we keep our pedal to the fucking floor. This shit is nuts out here. You can't have one job. I don't care how good your one job is. You can't really have one job out here. You're gonna need a job. You're gonna need a hustle. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna need to have a second car that you're renting on Toro, or you know what I'm saying, Airbnb in your place or something. You're going to be needing to find ways to bring in capital during these uncertain times, these trying times. And I don't even feel like this shit is necessary for real, man. It feel like we just the car was going in one direction and we just snatched the wheel. And now this shit is nuts, bro. Like, come on, man. Now this shit is nuts, and it's hard to identify who's to blame, who to point the finger at. You know, you know what I'm saying? But it's one moment. All right, my bad. Had to deal with the customers. People ask some questions. But anyway, man, it's basically how do we move forward in this thing? You know what I'm saying? It's fine to really finding the skills and understanding your value so you can make it through this motherfucker. You know? Understanding your value and what you bring to the table is important. And taking this time to be able to get your skills up, get your skills up, your trades up, and things of that nature. It's always beneficial. Always beneficial. You need something to lean on no matter what. You damn sure need something to lean on because it's again, I'm gonna keep using the word uncertain. This thing is it's so uncertain outside. You know, for a world that's based off of consumer confidence, it's so uncertain. And so, you know, we just have to take the time to be able to find ways to be able to prepare ourselves to be sustainable during uncertain times. We're going to be here. You don't want to die. You don't want to stop. You know what I'm saying? Even if you have goals and ambitions on moving out of the country and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You're going to have goals and ambitions to handle and do things during that time. And, you know, things can be successful or, you know what I'm saying, or they can't. Things can be successful or not. And we have to make decisions, focus logical decisions to be able to make sure that we're sustainable during this time. We have to set plans to make sure we're sustainable during this time. I'm a big fan of selling and flipping. Make sure you're saving during this time, but you damn sure got to find a way to take some capital and make some more capital with it. And once you become that resource, and there's so many different things, so many different needs out there right now, and it shouldn't be that hard. We even have Chat GPT. And Chat GPT, man, you could just go on Chat GPT and ask them that question, like, what is a true resource that you would need during war times? How can I come out on the other end of this war more wealthy than I was when it started? Um, success secrets to being sustainable or to increasing wealth during war times. Um, Things of that nature. You can ask them all different types of questions and shit. This is just spitballing some shit, you know what I'm saying? But you can ask it all type of questions, and you even have an assistant there. You have somebody who will help you out. There's plenty of AI systems out there. Chat GPT is the one that I just fuck with, but there are plenty of AI systems out there, and you can go through those and use those to be able to help you when it comes to making decisions and figure out what's your best move and what's the next move and all that. We have a lot of resources right now. It's more resources than there's ever been during these type of times. You know, saying during these type of times, the more resources out there, and so we just have to prepare ourselves. All right. I just want you to know, man, because I'm praying for us all. I'm praying for us all. I hope you're praying for us all as well because this shit is nuts. This is nuts. There's never been this amount of uncertainty back to back to back to back to back. We gotta pay attention to it. It was just 4 years ago that we were fighting a pandemic. Now it's a war they want to get into. It's disgusting, man. It's ridiculous. It's a lot of lives being lost. It's a lot of capital, a lot of resources being abused. It's getting absolutely ridiculous, and I'm worried for us all. I'm worried for us all. We really got to prepare. We really have to prepare. It's easy to be able to say, hey, you know, hey, this is America always bounces back, or, you know, whatever, whatever. For myself, I like to walk around and tell myself bad things never happen to me. Everything happens in my favor. Everything happens in my favor. But you always still have to prepare yourself, you know, and that's the reason why I call it preparing for greatness, because that's what we're preparing for. We're not preparing for failure. We're not preparing for failure. We're preparing for greatness. We're preparing to be sustainable and to be greater in a situation where it's going to be hard to be sustainable and definitely hard to grow. But that's the ambition. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that we're greater on the other side of this than we were when we first went in it. Period. Every time. Every time. I was having this conversation with my dog earlier today, man, and we were talking about, you know, growth, especially our people, black people, my people. You know, how can we grow as a people? you know. And I really say, man, listen, we can definitely grow. We definitely need to stick together, and we definitely need to create a structure of morality and a structure of integrity, but also a structure of information and support amongst each other. Structure of information and support amongst each other. These going to be great things and great benefits for our young. If you really want to you really want to help a poor kid or a young kid, you give them powerful resources. That's the greatest way you can help them. Give them powerful resources. We got to start being that powerful resource. But also, I do believe that we have to abandon this concept that to believe in us, we can only invest in us. Because not saying that we don't need to invest, we 100% need to invest in ourselves and invest in our community. But also, we got to pay attention to what the rest of the world did, and they all did business with each other. They all did business with each other, so we have to create those type of businesses and those type of environments where everybody feels welcome when doing business with us as well. Because we're going to need a great client base, and reaching out to different countries and overseas and expanding our horizons. I like the fact that we have this concept where a lot of people like to travel now. A lot of people like to travel and vacation, but I would like to see it being more than just travel and vacation, and we're making some true investments somewhere, building communities and things of that nature. And we could be creating businesses here in the United States, creating businesses here in the United States that are making capital, and we can have that capital, use that capital to support our life somewhere else where it's cheaper. My homie was telling me about Africa, and I was looking at properties in Africa, and like, Lord of mercy. I was looking at properties in Nigeria and stuff. In Nigeria, the property is a little more expensive than a lot of places in Africa, especially the properties that are pre-built. And I was looking at properties out there, and I seen a property that, in the United States, I know that joint would have 100% cost at least 10 mil, 10 mil plus. I don't care where you at in the country. The home would have cost 10 mil plus, no matter where you at. And I was looking at it, it said it was like 690 nearer. Then I looked up 690 nearer, and that shit was like 470,000 or some shit like that. Like, yo, less than a half a mil. This crib was sick and it was incredible. It was sick and it was incredible. Less than a half a mil. That's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. We could go out there and buy land, build beautiful places like that. Don't have to pay all them taxes and all that money left over, and you have your own land. You can get a load of your titles and all type of shit. Load titles mean it's in your hands through God and nobody can touch it. You'll be able to get all those different types of shit. And with that, you'll be able to maintain and make things happen on your own land and still have businesses in the United States that are making a killing. And you're taking that capital and you're funneling it and creating more business and business structures in Africa or Jamaica or whatever black community culture around the world that you want to go to, or whatever community that you would like to create. These are things that we have in our abilities. And I'm telling you, like I was talking to the homie and shit, and it was like, what I'm saying, hey man, we could really go overseas and we could really go to countries in Africa and everything that does business with the United States. And we can really get them to support us, and we can support them financially, and they can support us with the resources and shit. You know what I'm saying? And we get supported with the resources, and next thing you know, we can fuck around and get diplomatic immunity or some shit, and now we're able to do whatever we handle business how we want to without being able to be touched. You know what I'm saying? Just different possibilities and shit. I know motherfuckers like, nigga, this nigga think he James Bond or some shit. Nah, nigga, I'm just a cat that knows how business works and knows how psychology works. And it's like, yo, we can make some shit happen. We can make some shit happen. People ask me why I curse so much. I curse so much because this is who I am. I curse. And I run my businesses and I run my brands. And so I can curse. I curse, and if you don't have like people want me to come speak and stuff like that, like yo, I can come speak, but I just want to let you know I curse, you know. But I have tailored it to try to tailor a little bit when it comes to dealing with different communities, dealing with children and things of that nature. Definitely, definitely, still can keep the message. But is this authenticity, excuse me, is this authenticity that gets people to pay attention, man. They focus and shit. They focus and shit because they know it's coming from a real place. Coming from a real place. Deep down. It's a real place. Identify with it, win with it, walk with it, shine with it, grind with it, go with it. At all times, man. At all times. I just hope that we constantly consider that we still got a lot of work to do no matter if there's shit going on. We still got a lot to fix in our own homes, in our own communities if there's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot that we need to work on. So we cannot allow this moment and the things that go on now to stifle us and stop us to go backwards for any second. We can't do that. We can't afford to do it, and we can't afford to leave our children with a world that we went backwards. We constantly kept going backwards. Yes, you do. Sometimes you do got to take some steps backward to go forward, but that's on the mission to go forward. Got to be a forward mission. You know what I'm saying? So I just really want us to really focus on being strong and resilient during these times, being creative and still taking risk and still being that pillar. Because no matter what they say, we are the pillars of the community. We're business leaders, we're creators, we're family, we are in families and family members, we're employees. We are the pillars of this country, the pillars of this nation. And with being the pillar of this nation, I just want us to make sure that we are leading ourselves and leading our children into a great direction, that we are making sure that we're continuous in growth and we're not stifling our growth and allowing things to stifle our growth. Stay focused, stay ready, stay strong, stay driven, put the passion behind your power, drive over every obstacle, and no matter what, understand that the top is yours, you belong at the top. And if you work hard enough and you down enough, take it and you crafty enough, charismatic enough, I'll see you at that motherfucker. Because I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be at the top. Chilling, chilling, clean, smiling, counting this money. Hey man, I appreciate your time today. Thank you for joining the So Great podcast. Thank you for spending time with So the Great. Yes, I am great because I bring great to the plate. Sometimes I just have a moment where it's just like, we gotta just continue to push each other to be strong, push each other to be positive, push each other to grow and be great during this time, no matter what the obstacles and all other things that are going on right now. Our mission for greatness has not stopped. Take your time, breathe. If you're tired, take a rest, get back to work. Let's be great together. And we out.